Oh. You know, one of the things I've always said, I really enjoy it when a robot who has a rough approximation of what it is humans act like gets up on stage and tries to sell me on something. You ever have that happen? It's pretty cool. See what they do. Here, I'll demonstrate real quick. So they get up there. They say, "We here believe the best way to sell someone on something is to do stuff like this." Wait, seriously? Did they just start the pre-show? You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. uh, Believe it or not, I have been, like just barely keeping up with E3. I can't even imagine how hectic it would be trying to keep up if I was actually there right now. Come on. Load. You can do it.
Welcome, everyone, to the PlayStation...
Woo! I'm so excited to be here. I'm Meredith Molinar.
Why do I not have
Joined
video?
by the one and only Sid Schumann.
Reporting in for E3 20...
Hang on. It's the right channel.
Now, the big
There we
show
go.
starts in just a few minutes, but up until then,
Weird.
we have got a lot of exclusive content for you. We got some new games to show you. We got some developers coming up to the stage. Sid, what do we have coming up?
We got exclusive after exclusive after exclusive. We're going to be hearing from the guys who work on Bound. We're going to be hearing from Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. We're going to be hearing from Pyre. That's a super giant games. I know
Love
you're a
those
big
guys.
fan. Lots and lots of exclusive trailers coming. Obviously, the big press conference just 30 minutes away. Anything could happen.
Literally anything.
I mean, last year was so impressive and blew me away. I just know that...
I'm gonna shut them up now. It ain't nothing personal. Trying to do my own pre-show. I had something to talk about. And these guys are like, we're gonna talk over. So if anybody who actually wants to watch the pre-show, feel free to go over to twitch.tv/PlayStation is the channel they're showing it on. Let's talk about something. So, one of the things that I've been very big on my show since before it was a show was the concept of positivity. In fact, if you for those of you who really have been paying attention, the first thing I ever did, ever, which was actually a blog entry, well before I actually discovered I had a webcam built into my laptop, was I had done a blog entry talking about how I felt people were simply being too negative about Dragon Age 2. It's the first thing I ever did, ever. So literally, I've always been more about positivity. Now, people then have been asking me, and this happened last year too, why are you so negative during E3? Now, I would argue I'm not negative. You guys, I don't think, have seen me truly negative all that often. If you've seen my Threshold video, or my Star Trek V video, or my Star Trek Nemesis video, you know, anything I have that I label with the word lamentation, that's me being negative. This is a phrase, forgive me for borrowing the British term here, this is me taking the piss. In other words, this is me MST3K'ing something that I find to be humorous and enjoyable because life is funny. So, I just wanted to clarify that but at the same time, people are probably still wondering, well, why are you still allowing this kind of general, taking the piss? Why aren't you taking this seriously? Well, I've actually kind of already answered that question. Remember, E3 is not for us. I cannot emphasize that enough. It's one of the first things I talked about. E3 is a presentation aspect of the news media, of the press, okay? It's not for us. It is not something that is designed to be serious. It is not something that is designed to be some way for us to gain new information. We might get some new announcements, but that's it. Okay? So, I would argue that, and I've had this before, even before I started covering E3 directly, like I did last year and this year, I've had people who are like, hey, what do you think about this E3 announcement? To which my response is always just, we'll see. Because there's nothing to talk about. Really. The actual announcements, there's only a few tiny few things to actually talk about as far as real discussion, the things that, I usually get more in-depth into. I can't really do, for the most part, when it comes to E3 stuff, because E3 isn't designed to be that kind of a conference, right? Now, I do, of course, still, as I said before, there's a lot of meaning that can be gleaned from E3, mostly about the marketing side of things, the corporate side of things, the business side of things, what's trending right now. Again, the method by which the message is being presented is more interesting than everything else. So, what I'm trying to say here is that if you are upset by me not being universally positive, don't watch my E3 stuff, because I'm not changing it. This is me having fun with it. Again, I am not being legitimately negative. You guys have not seen me. Well, okay, you guys have seen me be legitimately negative. It is not this. This is me having fun with a hype machine. And there are stuff, and if anybody's been paying any kind of attention, every now and again I'll pause in my mockery and just be like, that's pretty cool. I like that. Or, this seems pretty awesome. Or, I'm really interested in such and such. And I will, of course, be discussing that kind of stuff, no doubt, next week, Sunday, when we do our news section, and talk about all the things. In fact, I have a fairly extensive list of games that I just kind of want to hit, one after another, after another, after another. So, I just wanted to get that out there myself, and one of the reasons why I do that. Now, I do find this amusing because I didn't really think I had to make this commentary, but I have had, I want to say 5 viewers pop in, and who have either sent me a private message or have sent something in chat being like, what's with all the negativity? And I wanted to respond directly to those commentaries. I find it amusing because of the fact that Jim Sterling literally did a video about that exact concept today. He had just covered that today, and I find that exceptionally amusing. Not the first time I've covered something that someone else has covered more extensively. Also, this is actually, I was watching the Microsoft conference live, Volcanto, and the Ubisoft one, and the PC one. I've seen them all. Now I've lost my train of thought. I also want to go ahead and say that I don't think any of the conferences this year in particular have been bad. Not as bad has been, because I've seen bad E3. I've been watching E3 since about 2006, give or take. That's about the time when my interest levels really started to rise with regards to keeping track of it. And I have seen some absolutely terrible E3s. In fact, one of the first things we discussed when we were just starting, yesterday morning, before the EA conference, was talking about how bad actual bad is. In my opinion, the EA conference was empty and devoid. There were, I want to say, 3 points of interest in it, 2 of which don't actually matter to me personally, just things I think that were generally positive things. Otherwise, I felt it was very empty. That's not bad. We've seen bad. Bad is much worse than that. So, yeah. Now, the next thing I want to talk about, though, since we're doing a little bit of a pre-show thing here, and we've got, looks like about 20 minutes to talk here. So, as I just referenced, I did see the Microsoft conference, I did see the Ubisoft conference, and I did see the PC conference, okay? So, let's talk about the Microsoft conference first. First of all, even though there are 2 points of note that I found to be significant negatives in the Microsoft conference, overall, definitely a pretty big net positive. Some really cool stuff they showcased. Some cool game features. They're adding functionality that should have been a functionality from the beginning, but they're adding it at all, so that's still a positive, A bunch of other little things like that. It was a lot of little details. I was working, Taitu. I got 3 episodes edited today, and I know what you're thinking. Oh, that's nothing. To which I say, I got 3 episodes edited today. Do you have any idea how long it takes to edit an episode? So overall, the Microsoft conference, I had a lot of positive thoughts on that. The 2 big negatives for me. Number 1 was the fact that they, oh my God, so they had this thing, and I wish we'd been keeping track the whole conference. I really wish we'd been keeping track the whole conference, because they kept saying Xbox One and Windows 10 exclusive. Xbox One and Windows 10 exclusive. Xbox One and Windows 10 exclusive. They said it over and 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 over. And I'm not even exaggerating. There were constant spams of text that would pop up, Xbox One and Windows 10 exclusive. And then there was this one announcer who played this one exact same clip over and over and over. Just constant hammering in of that point. It was actually a surprise when the CD Projekt Red people came on and were talking about Gwent. And the Gwent thing was not Windows 10 exclusive. It was like the only thing they mentioned. Actually, I think I'm exaggerating. It was like one of like 3 things they mentioned that was not Windows 10 exclusive. It was ridiculous. And I thought not only was it insulting, treating us like we were freaking goldfish, but it was also insulting for the fact that I remember the last time they pulled this. You remember Vista and Windows Live? You remember the last time Microsoft said, if you want to play in our clubhouse, you have to use our tools and you have to do things the way we say it? You remember that? Because I do. I'm not buying it this time any more than I did last time. Sorry, guys. They showed off some other cool stuff. FF15 was showcased. Actually showed some gameplay in FF15, which I thought was overall pretty positive. I had several notes about that, like the camera angle and stuff. That was good. They showed Halo Wars 2, which looks alright. I'm not particularly invested, but still, woo. They had the new Dead Rising, which looks like a Dead Rising game. Take that for what it's worth. What else? I'm trying to think of the other things that they had. Oh yeah, they showed the X-Bones and the Scorpio. The X-Bones is the Xbox One Slim. Is this centered? I don't think it is. Hang on just a second. I think we have the wrong thing up. Hang on just a second, would you? Is this too large?
Diaper.
Put this over here. Okay, hang on just a second, guys. Something's really wonky with my stream capture, and I don't actually know why. So I'm just going to go ahead and fix that. Oh, I see why. Okay. Don't worry, guys. I can fix that. Sorry about this. Good thing I noticed that before the actual stuff that mattered showed, huh? There we go. Get the whole thing in there now. Now I got to readjust it, of course. I wonder it was offset earlier. There we go. Sorry about that. Anyways, I noticed the text was off center. I'm like, that shouldn't be right. That's kind of odd. So, overall net positive about Microsoft. But I mentioned this because one of the comments I heard last year was someone was like, "Man, you must have really hated E3 this year," and I was like, "No, this and this and that and that and this were pretty cool." And their response was total confusion. Because, again, if you had been sitting in chat while the Microsoft conference was going on, you probably would have assumed I was overall extremely negative towards it. And yet, as I am telling you now, I'm actually much more net positive with only a few major nitpicks. Again, because part of the fun of E3, because of the spectacle of it, because of the bad presentation of it, because of the misfocus of it, because of the fact that it's not for gamers, because of the fact that I don't take it seriously, a lot of the fun of E3 for me, and this has been true for years, is taking the piss on it. Or taking the piss out of it, excuse me. Let's get my phraseology correct here. Just making fun of it. Like I said, I call it the MST3K thing. So, don't take it too seriously. At least not from me. Now, granted, I'm not exactly Total Biscuit or Jim Sterling, both of whom are way funnier about that kind of thing, but I'm, shrug. What was the next one? PC. So PC showed some stuff. I actually didn't see the entire PC conference because I had to get some, I had to go get some groceries. I was out of food. But some of the PC stuff I liked a lot. Game of War, Dawn of War 3, I actually really liked a lot, actually. Dawn of War 3 was generally awesome. Everything I saw about it. It's a shame Django isn't here anymore because I wish I wish I could chat without both him and the one Joker I know are both Warhammer 40k fans, and I would love to discuss it with them. They said it looked a little bit more like it was. They said it was a little more like it was a MOBA, and I can't quite buy that. They're certainly stylizing things a bit more. I can't deny that. But what it looked like to me was kind of a blend between Dawn of War, Dawn of War 1 and Dawn of War 2's gameplay. Some of the features and controls and abilities of Dawn of War 2 and some of the terrain and styles of what that, with some of the overall mass troop control and overall army presentation of Dawn of War 1. So overall, a pretty big net positive. And of course, we get to have a knight finally, so that's pretty awesome. I was hoping for a titan at first, actually. When I first saw it, I'm like, oh my god, it's a titan, but it actually wasn't. It was just a knight. I don't remember anything else particularly noteworthy from the PC conference, so I'm going to skip forward a bit to the Ubisoft conference. I watched all of that, unfortunately. That means, yes, I did see that wonderful little display at the beginning with the dance routine. I don't know what to make of that. That was just weird. Not bad. I've seen bad. Like I said, we've seen bad in E3. That wasn't bad. That was just... Then they, oh my god, a team-based shooter with mechs! Sorry. They, so they had some pretty good stuff in the Ubisoft thing, and it was funny because, in my opinion, Ubisoft's presentation as far as the presenters was actually pretty bad. It reminded me not as severely, but it reminded me of the Square Enix conference last year. AKA, what they were showing was stuff I was down with. What they were showing was things I was interested in, but the presentation was pulling me away from it. You know what I mean? But that's true. They showed up to Tyranny. That's a good point. So they showed a bunch of good stuff at Ubisoft. I'm trying to remember specifics. I actually am cautiously enthused about Watch Dogs 2. We'll see. They did show a fairly large amount of gameplay at basically every game they showcased at Ubisoft, so huge plus there just automatically. I want to say I'm actually interested in the new IP, at least tangentially. It's the kind of thing I would probably only pick up on sale or on super sale, but nevertheless, the fact that they're trying to do their own SSX game is at least interesting to me. And yes, let's just call it what it is. It's a new SSX game. But that's, or is it SCX? I think it's SSX. I was just talking about this with a friend of mine who I actually played the 2012 version with. But I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with that. Trying something new, sure. I'm with it. Try something new. It looks like an open world SSX, and that sounds cool to me. Yeah, so the South Park thing. I actually had a bit of a discussion with about South Park while it was happening. And as we were going through the South Park thing, I mentioned how South Park is extremely hit or miss for me. In other words, either I find them extremely funny, or very, very disgusting. And usually there's not a lot of in-between for that. And of course, that is the point of the show, as was pointed out by a viewer while we were talking about it. Sorry, itch. Soon, hopefully, Leslie, when I get back to doing explorations, it is towards the top of the list. Leslie. So yeah, the game overall looked just as well presented as the last one. I have played some of Stick of Truth. I liked what I played, quite a bit actually. Even if it's a South Park game, it looks extremely well polished. It looks extremely well presented. There's a lot of things they do with it that I like a lot. There's this scene they showcased during this playthrough of, it's like this section where the narrator, with Cartman's narrating, he's narrating your backstory, except it's playable. So it's like, you went out through the door, and then you can go around and fuss around and do whatever, and then Cartman's like, no, I said you go to the door! Come on, go to the freaking door! There are a lot of bits of good humor in that. That's only one of them, but there were several other ones I liked as well. Hi, Azura. What else did they showcase? They showcased quite a few things that caught my attention at the Ubisoft one. Forgive me for not remembering all of them. The VR thing. Okay. Let me explain two big reasons why I am anti-VR. I know a lot of people look at me weird for being anti-VR. Let me explain my two big reasons for it, okay? Reason number one. I think of VR in the same way I thought, and we're kind of past this point, of mobile gaming. In other words, that companies would look at this and basically throw money at it in lieu of working on other development. That people would make things for VR stuff in place of working on other stuff. In other words, this Star Trek Bridge game sounds awesome. It was actually leaked beforehand, and I knew about it. And I was kind of looking forward to hearing about this new Star Trek game. None of the leaks I saw were anything about the VR part. So what that means to me is now there is a game I will not get to enjoy because it's a VR game rather than a game. And, you know, they're pushing money and time and assets and resources into something that I personally don't enjoy for a second reason I'll get to in a second, and that I don't think is really going anywhere, to be completely blunt. I personally don't think VR is really going to accomplish anything until it either gets sufficiently advanced to actually be VR, or until we pull back from where it is and really focus on something else that already works and already has tremendous potential, like AR, which is augmented reality, for those of you who don't know it. Basically, digital presentation on real things. I also have to admit, this is kind of a side note, but I also look at VR the same way I did motion controls. You remember motion controls, right? Yeah. You remember how, oh, hey, look, VR game. You remember how motion controls was all about, oh my God, we're all going to do motion controls, and the Kinect is a big thing, and the PlayStation Plus is a big thing, or the PlayStation Move is a big thing, and then they completely abandoned it because it was a gimmick. It had no lasting, staying power. And yes, the Pokemon thing is a good example of AR. So that's my first big complaint about VR. My second complaint about VR is a little bit more vacuous, for lack of a better term. In other words, less defined. So first of all, I have actually played VR games. They give me monumental headaches. It got to the point where I had to go lay down afterwards. It's not a joke. It was bad. And it also, in addition to the headache, also gave me quite a bit of nausea. Quite a bit. I was really, really sick afterwards, and I know I am not the only person who has that problem. I know other people have had a similar reaction, and it's not really the technology per se. It's just the nature of motion sickness and that kind of a thing in general. People who have headache problems, people who have stomach issues in general, that they're basically cut off from that market because there's no way for them to be connected to that market by the way that they're presenting the technology. Yeah, VR rejection. It is a very legitimate problem. And so for me, I will never get into VR as it is presented now because it's basically impossible for me to. I might as well literally just start punching myself in the temple until it hurts, you know? And I feel, and this is why I say this is a more vacuous problem, I feel that we need to do more studies on the actual long-term ramifications of this kind of technology and actually try to look into what we could do with this in the future, rather than just being like, here you go play with it right now. I feel like we're rushing it, is what I'm trying to say, without actually studying the consequences of rushing it. Like I said, a much more vacuous, much more general, vague concern than the first one. Skyrim Remaster. Looks cool. I'm glad that we're getting it for free. These are my complaints about VR. In the first complaint, I could also rehash the point that I feel like people are basically abandoning AR in favor of VR. How many people are working on AR right now other than Game Freak? Because I actually can't think of anybody off the top of my head. And yeah, actually, someone earlier in chat, and Taitu just mentioned it as well, the whole the 3D gimmick. People, trying to sell 3D movies. I don't mean in movie theaters. I mean like 3D monitors and 3D TVs and all that stuff, and how it just kind of stopped being a thing very, very quickly. I mean, some people are still pushing it, but for the most part, that's kind of fallen apart.
Sounds like somebody that was bipolar and got old.
By the way, Watch Dogs 2 trailer playing right now, if you're curious. Like I said, I do think the Watch Dogs 2 currently is a net positive. I wouldn't buy it new if I wasn't doing it for the show. But, still, something. For Honor looked pretty enjoyable, actually. I was surprised. I expected to look at For Honor and have no interest, but it actually looked pretty interesting. I am excited for the Nintendo conference tomorrow. Let me go ahead and say one other thing that has been that has been a genuine negative for me. Not a fake negative, a genuine negative. Not an MST3K thing, okay? Several times at this E3 and every other 3 that's ever been done, they will have a thing where they'll do pre-recorded footage up on the screen to show you the game. In other words, they might actually be showing you real gameplay, and that's fine. I'm cool, but it's pre-recorded. It's basically scripted gameplay. Jim Sterling's actually talked about this concept too. Let me go ahead and go on the record here as saying that I'm actually okay with that. I have no real problem with pre-scripted gameplay. What I have a problem with is when you lie to me about it. When you get 4 people on the thing, on the couch, pretending to play a game, and then have the footage up there, the pre-recorded footage up there. Now, we don't know 100% of all of the gameplay footage is like that, but there are several times, several specific sections that have been very distinctly, obviously pre-recorded footage, and then there's people pretending to play. And that irritates me tremendously. That is a genuine negative, and I wish everyone would freaking stop doing that garbage. You don't need to lie to me, okay? So, anyhow, hey, Corrales. Where are we at? What's our timer at? Looks like we're getting pretty close to starting here. Any other questions before we get started? I've kind of run through the major things I wanted to talk about. No, Fire Rock. I watched it last Thursday. My video's already up about it. If you want to go talk, if you want to watch it. Predictions for Sony? No. What can change the nature of a man? Cheese. I did hear that, Corrales, and that does not surprise me at all. In fact, I've kind of predicted that myself. Either they're going big on Elder Scrolls 6, or they're doing the smart thing, regardless of going big, and taking some time before they start working on it. And I agree with that philosophy. I agree. They should polish up and really add to the content of Fallout 4 and whatever else they've got in the pipeline right now before they start a completely new, huge, incredibly ambitious project. What would Sony have to show for me to get a PS4? I'd say about 20 or so games that I want to buy. Not popcorn games. Games I want to replay. Oh, hang on. Awkward pause.
All right, guys.
We got that trailer coming in just a moment.
Yeah, we're getting so close to the show that we have to truncate everything and get all the excitement right in together because we gotta head inside. We gotta check this out.
We've seen so much in the last 20 minutes, and we haven't even started.
I know. So many exclusives, so much more to come. I'm excited to be surprised. I don't know what's gonna happen. You never know what's gonna happen, but I know I'm gonna like it.
Yep. Let's run inside and check out the show.
I should have worn my nice shirt to show them what a real nice shirt looks like. Man, the cameraman does not know what he's doing today. I don't mean the guy on the camera. I mean the person controlling the switches in the background. That's the second time he's just been like, hang on. Just give me a moment. Okay, so what's this? Oh, nothing. It's okay, we're here. I could tie to. But no, I won't do that. Hey, Knick-Knack. So, guys, this conference is rated 8 a.m. Speaking of someone who's been in the booth, being the guy directing the show live, I can really feel for them. I can actually just picture, like, go, give me one of the long shots of the crowd. Just give me one of the long shots of the crowd right now. But we're not ready. Just get the camera out there and start panning across the crowd. Do it. Okay, hang on. I have no idea, Spirit, honestly. I don't think we'll get any news, really, Venters. If we get any news, it will be insignificant news. It'll just be, and we're still working on it. And that's about it. And yes, I know it's lagging. I can see it too, guys. Do we have the second camera ready yet? No? Okay, pan back across the conference. Again, I've been the guy in the booth before. I really remember what it's like, you know, shouting and screaming and trying to get everything working because everything's going wrong live. I've been there. Hey, Brett. Depends on what it actually involves, Panic. I doubt it'll be a proper remake, so probably not. Get his mic on. Why isn't his mic on? It's mic 13. No, 13. They're alright, Ventures. I'd say they're worth a playthrough. Probably not lazy. I'm not a fan of the Persona series. I like the lighting effects. I've been that guy too. The person on the lighting program, switching from one program to the next. It's a lot of work. So wait, we had the evil red we're watching you empire of EA. And now we have the evil conquering empire of Sony. Is this a war between Sony and EA? I'd pay to see that. I missed it, Baronessa. What was it? Oh, never mind. I see it. I see it. This is some good stuff. I have to admit, it's a different direction than what Ubisoft did. What in the world? This is the new game, Outsider. This is the new Guitar Hero. What's with the beatboxing? Orchestra Hero, I like it. You've got like 50 buttons.
Roar! That dumb hammer doesn't scare me. Boom! Oh no!
Boy,
Stop!
boy! Your mother's knife. It belongs to you now.
What for?
A test. She taught you to hunt, yes?
Yes, sir.
Then show me what you know. I am hungry. Feed us.
What are we hunting?
You are hunting deer.
Which way?
Your hunt. You tell me.
South?
Is that a question?
South.
Are they actually going similar with the God of War series? Because my automatic reaction there is... Not that I dislike the God of War series, it's just that every God of War game has the exact same formula.
They're fresh! This way!
So... something new? I wish something new.
Found it!
Slow down, boy.
Sorry.
You must think. Do not simply react. Be calm and plan.
It's just, I'm not used to hunting.
I'm now wearing 3 layers. This is quite hot.
There it is!
Hold. What are you doing? Now its guard is up. Only fire. Only fire. When
Not the
I
rage
tell
meter?
you to fire.
I'm sorry.
Do not be sorry. Be better. Find it. Find it.
Sorry guys, I'm secretly Kratos. Been meaning to tell you. So my question is this the same Kratos?
No!
Or a new
You
one?
are not ready! Stay back!
Fuck. I knew something felt off about the forest.
Keep moving.
You know, if you give me my bow back, I can help you fight. I'm ready.
You have yet to prove that.
I need a chance.
You had a
I
chance.
need another.
Then find that deer.
Yeah, the camera angle's odd. I get what they're doing with it. It's your standard third-person over-the-shoulder camera. I'm just not a huge fan of that camera type.
Here's your chance. Show me already.
Yes, sir!
Face your shots! I will want to me!
Wouldn't be the first time we've jumped mythologies and had it work story-wise. Anyone remember Age of Titans? Sorry, Age of Mythology?
Shoot it! It is time! I will bring it down! You will kill it! Now, boy! Do it! Off the ice! No!
I am so sorry.
Your deer is getting away.
Yes, sir.
It's confirmed. Kratos, still a dick. Still more gameplay. I mean, this looks like the tutorial level. You remember how God of War 2 started off with the awesome
I can't
Colossus of
believe we
Rhodes
fought
thing?
without troll.
Feels like
You
that.
froze when I told you to kill it.
Not that I'm, complaining.
Him? I thought your mother taught you to hunt.
She did, but I never had to kill anything. She always did that part.
Then it is time for you to learn.
Father, look!
Honestly, I think the comparison earlier to Zelda or Dark Souls, I think, is more apt with the gameplay
Wait
thing.
for my mark. Relax. Do not think of it as an animal. It is simply a target. Clear your mind.
I do like how we have to aim the kid's bow. Nice touch.
Exhale and release.
I got it!
Good.
Might be Furia. I don't know. This is new to me. I didn't know they were doing a new God of War thing, so this is news to me.
So what?
Your knife. No. Finish what you started.
Note the constant presence of runes, by the way. Very Nordic in general.
I can't.
Yeah, by the way, I hope you guys realize the orchestra is still playing for this.
I...
Now, you are ready.
For what?
I knew I recognized him, Gamer Techno. Notice the lack of subtitle. That's a reboot. That actually makes me a bit sad. That looks like a reboot. Still cool. Still enthused, but I would have actually liked it if they had had a Kratos goes to another mythos thing. Again, like the Age of Mythology method of doing it. You know, multiple pantheons at the same time kind of a thing.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone, and welcome. What a way to start the show, huh? With a live demo of God of War. Right now, also a special thank you and a shout out to our very talented composer of the soundtrack to God of War, Mr. Bear McCreary. Here tonight with his awesome orchestra, and they'll be performing all evening. So that's really exciting for all of us. Thanks to everybody. Before we go any further, though, I think it's important that we take a moment to address the heartbreaking tragedies of Orlando this past weekend. A horrific event like that, carried out by a madman, really underscores our need for greater love, tolerance, and respect of people of all kinds. On behalf of the PlayStation community, I just want to say that our thoughts are with the victims and the families and the community of Orlando. We stand foursquare with them, and we hope that in this week of perhaps our gaming celebrations, within the diversity of our gaming community, we can find some strength, some comfort, and some solace. The PlayStation community stands foursquare with our friends and fans in the LGBT community as well. And I know they're all in the hearts of everyone tonight.
I was gonna say, no, that's not true. Day 9, I think, or someone at the PC Gaming thing mentioned it directly.
So without the transition sounding awkward, please bear with me, but I would like to welcome you all to the historic Shrine Auditorium. We've been away from this venue for a while, but now we're back. We're delighted to be here because it is a temple to creativity and to all that means. We're proud to be part of a vast and expansive team of storytellers, artists, engineers, musicians, and programmers and actors. The massive and sometimes tiny teams who tirelessly create works of art that we find ourselves getting lost in.
You remember how I mentioned that...
And that is what tonight is all about. For the next hour, we hope to, astound you with a lineup of games that are both dazzling and transformative.
Remember how I mentioned if you don't do the hands thing, you'll just stand and, like, not move?
Without further ado,
notice how he's
I'm
not
proud to
moving his
take
hands
you
for the most
on
part.
this journey
This is what I
to
meant.
some of the great games coming out
Right
on
there.
PlayStation 4.
Just,
please enjoy the show.
he's just locked in step. Again, it's understandable, it's natural, it's nervous. But that is like a great textbook example of what I was talking about why some people do the hands thing, because otherwise they just do this the whole time. And with the occasional,
Someone asked me once if I remembered how it all went down. As if it happened so long ago that anyone could forget. So yeah, I remember. I remember when our homes and our towns turned into graveyards. When the wilderness became our only hope for survival.
Sorry.
I remember when the planes fell out of the skies. When the trains stopped running.
So this is probably Last of Us 2.
When the turbines shut down and the world went dark.
I'm guessing.
I remember when they put up the razor wire. Like it was gonna stop anything. And the feds ran out of body bags.
Bro.
And some of us sort of lost our minds.
I think he's dead.
Some lost more than that. Much more. I remember when we lived by a code, when brotherhood meant something, and living meant more than surviving.
Goddamn liar!
So yeah, I remember how it all went down. I don't give a damn about any of that. You know what I remember most? Riding the open road. The smell of your hair. The touch of your skin. I remember you.
Oh my god, Ride to Hell too.
But those days are gone. Now I'm a drifter. A bounty hunter. A mercenary. And for me, the broken road is all that's left.
I've already even my guess.
But I'll always remember.
So, I have no idea what that is. It is a post-apocalyptic game. Cool. No idea what it is, but cool. We were all wrong. I'll believe it when I see it. I've been saying that for years at this point. When the game is actually out and playable, I will believe this game is finally being made. I still don't believe it, guys. Legit. I do not believe it, still. When the game's out, I will believe it. Release date? Release date. Holy crap. Still don't believe it. Wouldn't be the first time we've had a release date, too. I hate to point that out. Man, they are really just going one after another, which I'm in favor of, I'd like to say. Oh yeah, I remember this one. They actually talked about this at last year's E3. It looked alright. Horizon? Yeah, yeah. Hello, same camera angle. Sorry.
Turn back! Corrupted machines in the valley!
I have to cross. I'm headed for the border.
Then may the goddess show mercy.
You ever play Ico or Shadow of the Colossus, Rory?
Let's have a look.
It's the next of those. Yeah, in all sincerity, I don't like the over-the-shoulder third-person view. I never have. It actually bothers me a bit.
I should focus scan them.
And I also,
got some weak spots.
I feel like it's a little overused, ignoring the fact that I don't like it.
Risky, but I need the components.
I do like this presentation to sci-fi. Just for the premise, for the setting. In other words, this is effectively a fully sci-fi game, except we're the primitives. And I do like that premise. I don't know much more about it, to be completely honest with you, though.
Two explosive traps coming right up.
Oh my god, it's Witcher 3. Although if you're gonna copy a game, It supposedly has a release date, Rory. Yeah, they keep mentioning that corrupted thing. I actually want to know more about the setting. I may never actually play this game, but I do find the setting enough interesting to try and dig into the lore a little bit.
You did it! I came from Mother's Rise.
Corrupted attacked the village.
Yes, and something worse. A demon.
What do you mean, a demon?
Interesting.
It scuttled from the forest.
There's a dialogue
Drove
wheel.
a group of watchers mad.
Yes, I did.
How'd you do that?
I saw, but I did not understand. Oh, Goddess, protect us!
Yeah.
Keep running for Mother's Crown. It's not far.
Come with me, or the demon will kill you.
I don't believe in demons, and I don't run when lives are at stake. Get out of here.
You're crazy!
Yeah, I admit I'm surprised by the fact that they have dialogue options in this game. Although, again, the Witcher 3 thing I just mentioned. That's not negativity.
I'll never make it in time. Unless I get a mount. Broadheads. If I override one of those, that should do.
Hang on. Gotta hack the machine.
Sorry, not today.
This reminds me a little bit of my own canon for Mega Man, where half machine, half animal, half machine, half plants became such a normal thing because of the devastation that was being done to the terrain prior to Mega Man's beginning. You'll notice there's no non-mechanical animals we've seen so far.
The village. What's that noise? What the hell is that? It's corrupting the Watcher? Vulnerable to fire. Here we go!
I thought the rabbit was part machine. I didn't get a good look at it, so I'm not 100% sure on that one.
That was close.
This is scripted gameplay. It still counts as gameplay, but it's scripted. If you don't know what I mean by that, I mean they meticulously crafted this, but they are still basically playing the game to make this happen. Think of it like a TAS. I've described TASs to you, right?
Strong, all right.
And like I said, I'm okay with pre-recorded gameplay, like I just said earlier, as long as you're honest about it. And you'll notice there's no person pretending to play with a controller, so I'm okay with it. Pretty much, yeah, Panic. Speaking as someone who's played both Dark Souls and Witcher 3, I'm definitely getting more of a Witcher 3 vibe here. But again, that is not a complaint.
Try jumping now!
actually gonna try and hack it? Horizon signal. Massive damage.
This machine. It looks ancient.
I remember Enslaved.
Where did it come from?
Notice the idea there of there being modern machines and older machines. And we know nothing else about it. Still, you got my interest, so. Here's some audience. Man, they really are just going one to the next, next. Oh my god, it's Two-Face.
Still emerging on what exactly happened. But the hostage taker could be the family's android. Negotiator on site.
Net positive, Chaosbringer.
Please, please, you gotta save my little girl. Wait. You're sending an android?
All right, ma'am. We need to go.
You can't do that. You... Why aren't you sending a real person?
Captain Allen, my name is Connor. I'm the android sent by CyberLife.
It's firing at everything that moves. It already shot down 2 of my men. Saving that kid is all that matters. So either you deal with this fucking android now, or I'll take care of it.
Don't come any closer or I'll jump!
Hi, Daniel. My name is Connor. There's no way out, Daniel. The only question is whether or not you take another innocent life. I'm holding all the cards. If I die, she dies. Look what you did. You were designed to serve humans, not kill them.
What was I designed to be? Their slave? Their toy?
You're a machine you have to obey. Now put the gun down and let the hostage go.
I've spent my life taking orders. Now it's my turn to decide.
Yeah, called that.
Your order for an AP android has been registered.
Are you armed?
No. I have a gun.
Drop it! Touch him and I kill you!
You can't kill me. I'm not alive.
Tell that helicopter to get out of here!
It's up to you how the story ends.
I trust you. You lied to me, Connor. You lied to me.
Looks more branching than most Quantic games are.
My name is Connor. This is our story.
Now, it's interesting because this is still a gameplay trailer if you're paying attention, because that's how the gameplay of these games work. It's to choose your own adventure. I'll go ahead and say that I've never liked Quantic Dream's game. I've never liked David Cage's games, ever. I'm willing to be convinced otherwise. But, yeah.
about now.
It's the Matrix. No, I'm kidding. We all know what this is. Ew. I hope there's not a jump scare here. I hate jump scares. Jump scares are so cheap. Come on, you're building suspense naturally without the need for a jump scare. Don't do a jump scare. Don't do a fake jump scare either.
What the fuck am I supposed to do? God damn it. I'm probably gonna end up like Andre. Okay. What the fuck?
We will have to professionally disagree, Rigel. Called it. Freaking called it. I'll explain why I called that later. I've been predicting this for a while now. I don't have time to talk. They keep presenting stuff, so remind me to talk about Resident Evil.
In addition to the PS4 console experience, the full Resident Evil 7 will be playable from beginning to end with PlayStation VR when it releases on January 24th.
I'm okay with that because it doesn't require
2016
VR.
is a seminal moment in virtual reality. The time has finally come for everyone to enjoy VR in their own homes. And at PlayStation, we have a combination of the necessary processing and graphics power already built inside 40 million PS4s that have been sold worldwide. Thank you for that. We have the display technology, which can realize these images at a high fidelity. We have the production expertise to create a headset that is designed for the gamer. And because PlayStation 4 is a fixed platform, developers can fine-tune their games for the system to deliver the same transformative experience for all PlayStation VR owners.
Man, I'm gonna turn on my VR real
Here
quick.
that on October 13th, PlayStation VR will make its debut in the United States.
I know, I already did that joke.
Currently, more than 50 games will be available from launch until the end of this year. That includes some of the biggest franchises, along with brand new titles that will be born on PSVR. We invite those here tonight after this experience to come with us next door to the arena post-reception, where we'll be able to have some PSVR kiosks set up so you can all have a go. Now, I'd like to showcase a few PlayStation VR titles, starting with PlayStation exclusives developed by our own worldwide studios. Please watch.
So, okay, guys, I came prepared for Sony VR.
My God. This place is incredible.
What's your suit on those rocks? We don't know what kind of pathogens might exist here. We can't afford a breach. Come on. We have to keep moving.
You know, I bet this place isn't even on the star charts.
Analyzing surroundings. Unknown environment. Unknown atmosphere. Wow. Unknown location.
Wait. What the hell is that?
You missed it earlier, didn't you, Hylas? I gave my legit grievances with VR earlier. Both of them.
Pilgrim, can you read me? This is Dr. Tyson and Dr. Moon. Come back.
First thing I talk about, Rory, I'm not going to repeat the whole thing here. It was like a 10-minute discussion. Don't worry, it'll be going up on the YouTube, as usual. My new YouTube, obviously.
All wings report in.
So we had Star Trek VR, now we have Star Wars VR. I'm just gonna take this off now. Yeah, I think it'd be best if I take this off.
How do you feel when you put on that mask?
That's Mark Hamill.
Are you hiding from the world? Or do you want the world to hide away from you? Maybe you feel invincible. More than just a man. Or maybe you're just like me. You see that life is nothing but a sick joke, and so you choose a face to match. But what happens when we become what we pretend to be? When illusion becomes the new reality? Does it even matter? After all, if you find a mask that fits, you never need to take it off.
Hey guys, Reggie just visited me. You missed it, Tesla. It was appropriate earlier. I may need to mute this, which is a damn shame.
You're on ice.
Dubstep Chocobo. I have literally heard everything. I think they're done with the VR thing. So, hey Sid.
That ought to do her.
This shouldn't take long. Simmer down now.
Hit it! Yeah, let's.
Stay down.
Is this 15 VR? Yeah, it totally is. So let's see, we've got a movie, an anime, and a VR for FF15. Huh. Okay. Okay. I said, no one cares. Who's Prompto? Call of Duty. Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know.
Enemy surging in multiple sectors, LT. They're taking ground.
Let's keep this on a tight loop and get back out there, Reyes.
Yes, Call of Duty.
Captain on the bridge.
Get us underway, Salt.
Right away, sir.
Captain has a con.
Allow me to go ahead and say that I am more excited for the sci-fi Call of Duty than I have been for a Call of Duty in a long time. It's a nice way for them to stretch out a little bit with it, I think. In my opinion. I don't know if they're going to, but they have the possibility of stretching out, and I like that idea.
What's our target, Reyes?
I may actually pick this
Stand
one
by
up.
for objective.
What do you guys think? Should I do an exploration on Infinite Warfare?
We've got a set-depth destroyer in lunar orbit. We'll coordinate a takedown with Tigris. Let's mount up, Lieutenant.
Your Jackal's up on Bay 3, Captain.
Thanks, Chief.
Gentlemen, let's get it done.
I'm gonna turn on the bot. I want to get your guys' poll. Legit question. If you want me to explore this game.
You said, Ethan?
Good to go, sir. Pull up the bot.
Solar wind should be steady. Good hunting, Captain.
Thanks, AT.
Let's go green on the catapult.
You spun up, Fever?
Raj, hydraulics prime, nozzle's good. Let's hit it.
Jackal 1112, tower advises time to do it at 320 at 5.
Check, 1-1.
Roger, 1-2.
I'm already doing Stardew Valley. That's already decided, wasn't it? Should...
Scar 1-1, you're locked for go.
Roger, we're lit.
Launch in 3, 2, 1.
They're launching skelters! Shit, I got one on me!
Countermeasures! On my way, hang in there.
There you go. Pulls up. One is yes, two is no. Very simple.
No joy, no joy.
Easy, Salt, easy.
I'm getting boxed in, Raider, throttle up!
So, this looks Star Foxy, but I'm still okay with that for the same reason I'm okay with Star Fox. I mean, what I'm saying is that I don't think that's TIE Fighter. I think that's basically a turret section.
Eyes Eyes on. Tigers for visual. Coast Guard Jack is down.
They're certainly presenting this better than Battlefield 1, whether Battlefield 1 is a better game or not. Remember the time we saw that same trailer for Battlefield 1 3 times? Almost in a row? It was 2 times in a row. And then there was a bit of an interview thing, and then we saw it a 3rd time. It's not going to be TIE Fighter. And that's how you kill someone in space. I actually like that. There's Africa. Hi, Africa. Yeah, I could see ace combat. I like the grapple.
Keep pushing.
That would be the normal Call of Duty method, True Town. You get each toy once. I will believe it when I see it, Samurai. But I will also eat my words if it gets that point.
Zone is clear. Here's our infill.
Their blast shields are up. Copy. Tigris, we are exterior of the bridge, preparing to breach.
Bye.
Force in, let's go! Staff Sergeant, cover the exit. Ethan, restore life support. Aye, sir.
I have to admit, this looks like a bit of a return to some of the things I liked about Call of Duty. Just in terms of the presentation of the experience, for lack of a better term. I'm reminded of the ship sequence in Modern Warfare 1.
Down, moving to exfil. Go loud!
Think we got their attention. Clear the hole. Coming down the stairs.
Second level. 1 minute, let's go! Got him!
Coming from the control room.
Behind the pillar. All ass!
Control room ahead.
Shield up!
Looks like they did Frozen. It's hard to tell, though. Wait. So what you're saying is we're gonna play at Gropos?
Tigris, we need birds!
I can see that, Alice.
Gunners approaching. Overhead. Jacks are in.
Copy, load up! Set, turn and burn.
Yeah, this was probably the last thing they're showcasing.
Scars are clear.
Copy clear. Engaging. Weapons loose.
So yes, we just performed a boarding action of another frigate, like another capital ship. Cool. Make sure to vote on that one if you haven't already. Alright, this is probably the absolute last thing at this point.
Our blood has been spilled. Looks like we're rolling.
Oh, this is the Modern Warfare remaster.
Marines, we have a possible fix on Al-Assad in the capital city. Intel gathered by SAS indicates that Al-Assad may have a Russian warhead. Speed is critical. We have visual on the target. ETA 60 seconds.
I was just talking about the ship mission.
Hallway, clear.
Graphics look shinier.
Get out. Beautiful.
Zakharov looks terrifying. Or, no, not Zakharov, excuse me, Zakhaev. Wrong guy.
Let's do this.
Is it coming out on the PC? I guess they did start like 15 minutes late, so they were probably going to run a little late. Okay, that's a nice trick. And yeah.
Yeah, that's right. No t-shirt tonight, but I'm proud to announce that we work with our partners at
Yeah.
Activision.
Yeah.
We're going to bring back the original Crash, Crash 2, and Crash Warped, fully remastered from the ground up for PlayStation 4.
Cool.
Crash Bandicoot will also appear first, though, on PlayStation 4 this October in Skylanders Imaginators. So let's have a look at that.
Raise your hands, Crash Bandicoot fans. Come on, let me see some hands. Now, I admittedly am not a particularly big Crash Bandicoot fan, but I think it's awesome that they're doing something with it again. It's been a while. I hope those are proper remasters. They're probably not going to be proper remakes. Hello, Star Wars.
Dear child.
Ah, yeah, we knew this one was coming.
I see your eyes.
This is probably an automatic buy. I can't think of any Lego game that's been bad.
Behind you. It is ahead.
The droid. I'll pay for him.
Actually, the droids are not for sale.
Come on.
In fact, it looks like they've touched this one up a bit more than the ones I'm used to playing. Yeah, Star Wars Lego, Lord of the Rings Lego, Batman Lego. That's some good stuff.
The droid stole a freighter.
The two were accompanied by a girl.
What girl?
I hope you noticed the emo posters in his room there.
Luke Skywalker. Tell me a Rathar's got loose. I got a bad feeling about this. The girl I've heard so much about.
I'm in charge now.
It's about time you showed up.
Give it everything you got.
I'm telling you, Lego games have consistently been good for me.
You will never be as strong as Darth Vader.
We're not done yet.
You might need this.
Every other Lego game's been on PC. I have no reason to think this one won't be. On the PC. On the PC. On the PC? PC? No.
Please welcome to the stage Andrew House.
Hi, Andrew House. Is it coming out on the PC? I should know that song.
Thank you very much, everyone. It's an absolute honor to be here at E3. Our mission is to make PlayStation the best place to play for gamers. And I think you'll agree that this E3 marks one of the strongest lineups of content in PlayStation history. That's a result of our commitment to partnerships with the most talented developers and storytellers.
Is it already on Steam?
And
I can verify
as
that right
proof
now.
of that commitment, please join me in welcoming one of the most creative talents in the history of gaming.
Who is it? Who is it? It's Kojima. It's Kojima. Hey, Konami! There it is, LEGO Force Awakens, coming out June 28th, 2 weeks from now. Verified, on Steam right now.
Hello, everyone. I'm back. Thank you. Today, I bring something new we made for you, and this is all running in real time. Please enjoy.
What do you got for us? To see a world in a grain of sand and heaven in a wildflower, held eternity in the palm of your hand and eternity in an hour. I have said before that I think Kojima is overrated, but let me also speak on the opposite side of that. I think his life was kind of wrecked working under Konami, and everything I've heard seems to confirm that. From the breakdown issue, to the mental issues, to the stress. Yeah. I feel like him getting out of Konami is probably one of the best things that's ever happened to him. And I hope he really gets to stretch in the future.
Take this head on. Soon I'll come around. Lost and never found. Waiting for my
I agree, he is definitely a good developer. Yeah, this is what you're thinking, guys. I would bet money that this is the Silent Hill. This is the PT thing. I mean, come on. I don't care what they call it, guys. It's going to be the new Silent Hill. And I'm probably going to get copyright flagged for this. I bet money. What do you want to bet? I am curious. There we go. Death Stranding. I like the title.
People see me and think they're safer. But it's not really me they're seeing.
And they're still going. Insomniac.
Probably for the best.
Wait,
Knowing
really?
everything hinges on a guy from Queens sounds as scary as it feels.
Oh, please make a good Spider-Man game. Please. We've never really had a great Spider-Man game. We've had acceptable Spider-Man games. Give me a great Spider-Man game. Just once. Just once. Give it to me. Of course, I have to point out that this is a trailer, not gameplay. Also, is he fighting Black Skull? I think that was an acceptable game, Taitu. I cannot call it a great game. My personal opinion. No, they already showed off the only Square stuff they're probably going to show off. If anything else, it would be Mankind Divided.
Everyone, sometime in your life, should have the ability to walk on with an orchestra. It's the most amazing thing ever. Let me tell you. Thank you
Come
guys
back, come
so
back.
much.
Okay, here we go.
Uh,
Oh, I know, Samurai. Live orchestra, FF7. It's like just sitting there waiting.
of a future unlike any other. Thanks to the dedication and the passion of the greatest gaming community of all time. We are committed to delivering the future technologies and experiences that will continue to evolve console gaming.
Okay.
We thank you, our partners, our allies, our friends, for going along with us on this journey.
This is the end. They're not going to do anything else.
You're welcome. At the core of interactive entertainment is it's play, right? As much as we love to talk about stories and visuals and emotions and graphics and technology, it all comes together in the brilliance of gameplay. So before I leave, it is my distinct pleasure to share a live demo with all of you of a title we introduced earlier tonight, but we'll see it played live. Thank you for coming tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Days Gone.
Yeah, no Square stuff. No Square stuff, guys. I figured. I wonder if it's actually a live demo.
He's headed to the old sawmill.
Going in after. It's gonna be dark soon.
Does that ever stop me? His bike's down.
I'm disbelieving the live thing so far. There's the guy faking it, maybe.
Alright, Two Dog, where the hell are you?
There's a few things you could pay attention to see if it's live. If you see any mistakes in movement, for example. If the movement all looks completely smooth and scripted, it's probably pre-recorded. If occasionally he goes the wrong way or shifts the wrong direction or something, or if there's a little bit of a twitch as you go too far to the right and you twitch to the left, that's a good example of actual live gameplay. But if all the movement is very smooth, as if it's, you know,
well, that ain't him.
A video being presented, that's pre-recorded.
Alright, let's see. Yep. I could use that.
And yet they don't, Luslins. Yeah, it's true. I'm pre-recorded too, guys, by the way. I didn't mean to tell you guys. Sorry.
Oh, shit.
Two-Dog.
Son of bitches! Two-Dog! Damn it! Stop, Two-Dog!
Yeah, that would be funny, admittedly. Gotta admit, though, I would be prepared to eat my words if they made a Ride to Hell 2 that was actually good.
Look around, brother! You know how this is gonna end. Where you at?
Oh, sucks to be that guy. You got it, Taitu.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
The way he's aiming looks more pre-recorded than actual, too. A little too accurate and a little too smooth. Again, you can do pre-recorded, guys. You've been doing it this whole conference. I'm okay with it, really. I agree. Definitely not an octopus. Is that you, Sethos? I'm not... do you get my point, at least? No, I guess you weren't here for my initial spiel. Anyway, go rewatch the VOD, Tesla. You'll understand why I'm bringing this up so much. That's okay, they're not zombies. They're fungus zombies. Oh, wait, we already did that one, too. They're animal zombies. Oh, we've done that one, too. They're golem zombies. Oh, shoot, we've done that one, too. This is Ride to Hell Retribution 2 model. In all sincerity, I genuinely thought this was The Last of Us 2. Everything about it actually still feels like Last of Us 2, just with biker guys. From behind. Oh, maybe not. Maybe he's just screwed.
Come on! Come on!
He dead. Yeah, so, wrapping up. That was it. That's everything, guys. Kind of predicted. No real Square stuff. They've got their own thing they're doing for like the next 3 days. Yeah, no kidding, Bandit. Wait, what? Oh, okay. I know I've already played way too much stuff, but I'm gonna go ahead and be safe and mute this. Just in case. Which I just realized means I need to talk in order to fill the time. Hey, they showed 1 millisecond of Mankind Divided. Oh, this is... Oh, goody! Mankind Divided is going to be in the VR. That's fantastic. No, I'm kidding. Damn. I didn't have much to snark at. I'm really upset. And I was kind of holding back in the VR section. I could have made way more fun of the VR section. I mean, I've even got my own VR thing right here. I'm ready to go, guys. Look, see? Check it out. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Whoa. Whoa, dude. There's like a guy and I'm shooting him. It's amazing. There. Okay. There's my making fun of. Had to get my quota in. Oh, I think I can unmute it now. No, I can't. No, I can't. Never mind. Song. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not going to talk about anything Resident Evil-wise. I'm amazed how many of you remembered. Okay, so what's your post-show thing, or do you have one? Okay. Sure. I know, Lava, that actually genuinely pissed me off. Are we live? Are we live? We're live! Okay! Whoops, whoops, whoops. Sorry. What? They are really distracting. We're gonna get rid of that. We're just gonna get rid of that now. We're not unmuting them. We're deleting them from reality. Yeah, so the Frostfire Ridge Part 2 video I uploaded today, and they said, "Oh, I'm sorry, we own the audiovisual content in this video. We're blocking it in all countries." I was a little pissed off about that. So I had to edit out the best cutscene. Well, one of the best cutscenes of the game. Whoa, hello. Because of that garbage. So many people reminding me to talk about Resident Evil. Definitely a net positive on that conference. They did a lot of things right. Most notably the whole gameplay trailer. Gameplay trailer, gameplay trailer, gameplay trailer, gameplay trailer, gameplay trailer. It's almost as if that one section was actually aiming at gamers. Very, very odd. Hang on, I've got to eat my words. Hang on, so I've got these honey M&Ms here. These will suffice for my words. Actually, I don't like these nearly as much as the chili ones. No, it is not keratin. Or at least if it is, it won't be forever. So anywho, hang on, oh, no. There we go. So let's go ahead and talk about Resident Evil. Resident Evil 1 was an attempt to make a serious, dark, gritty survival horror game. And that was actually kind of new for the time. I need music. Do you guys need music? Do you mind if I get some music going? Let's get some music going. Or, whoops. Actually, I don't want that one. Actually, you know what? Yeah, let's not do that at all. Let's do something else entirely. Resident Evil 1 was an attempt to do some big, here we go, this is what I want. Big, serious, dark, horrible, scary gameplay, right? And believe it or not, that was actually kind of new for the time. You know, that was a fairly new thing for them to do. At the time, in gaming, it wasn't the kind of thing you really saw. I mean, what was the other things doing that? Alone in the Dark? You know, the original, the one that kind of inspired Resident Evil. The thing is, Resident Evil 1 and I mean absolutely no offense to anybody who's a fan of it, because I'm a fan of it too, was ridiculous and silly and kind of terrible. However, props to Capcom, props to the team and the developers working on it. They looked at that and they said, okay, we can work with that. So Resident Evil 2, they made one more attempt, really, in my opinion, in Resident Evil 2 to really try to make it a little more serious. And that still had quite a few moments of camp. And then they shifted over into Nemesis, one of my personal favorites, right behind 4. And at that point, the camp had just kind of taken full thing. And then, of course, in Resident Evil 4, they were quite deliberately embracing the camp. And just being so shamefaced about, yeah, zombies, woo! And it wasn't quite the Dead Rising flavor of, riding through a bunch of zombies with a truck that shoots flamethrowers at both sides. It was just that sort. I mean, there's a scene where you're yammering back and forth between a miniature Napoleon guy. I mean, for God's sakes, it was awesome. And then there was 5. 5 was a little lacking, but 5 still did embrace the same general, whoa. 6 we don't talk about. Then they attempted a bit of a reboot with that 3DS one. I can't even remember what it's called. Or maybe was that 6? No, that wasn't 6. One of them was actually kind of good after that. They tried to go in a slightly different direction out of it and kind of failed at it. And then they kind of put it on hold for a while. Revelations, thank you. That's the one I'm thinking of. And then they kind of put it on hold for a while. And I had made the quiet prediction last year. I don't remember if I made it on camera, but I was actually talking to a friend of mine who is a big Resident Evil fan. And he and I like to discuss the lore of Resident Evil quite a bit. Because I'm actually pretty decent about Resident Evil lore, believe it or not. Not great, just decent. So we were discussing the lore back and forth. And we were discussing the origins of the term itchy tasty. Props to anyone who knows what I'm talking about. And he said, okay, so we haven't seen any Resident Evil in forever, and we were talking about dead franchises. Mega Man came up, Secret of Mana came up, a whole bunch of other games came up. And he brought up Resident Evil, and he's like, he thought it was a dead franchise. I was like, you know what? I think you're right. I think Resident Evil is a dead franchise. The only thing they could possibly do with it right now is take it into a completely new direction. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, what are you thinking when you think of Resident Evil? And he came up with the exact same response that I imagine most of you are thinking. Silly, campy, gross, big, oh my gosh, giant monsters. That sort of camp, ridiculous, stupid nature that is Resident Evil. And I said, absolutely, that is what Resident Evil always has been. Imagine if Resident Evil was actually scary. And he looks at me, he's like, what do you mean? And I actually said, I swear to God, I'm not making this up. Picture Silent Hill 2 set in Raccoon City. Picture that kind of gameplay. Picture if they really embraced the desperate, alone, low on supplies, low on resources, finite resources in the whole game. One of the only things I liked about that freaking typewriter tape thing was the fact that there were a finite number of them ever. You only had so many saves in the game ever. And it helped it was one of the few things that actually helped add to the flavor. Imagine if we saw Resident Evil that was actually terrifying. Done in that quiet, subtle, empty, absent, you have nothing kind of a gameplay. So when we started watching that, I'm looking at that, and I'm like, well, it can't be PT, and it can't be Silent Hill because it doesn't have the right flavor in it, and it doesn't have anything that it needs to have attached to it. And I'm watching it for 10, 20, 30 seconds. I forget how long, but right about the time when he started going downstairs, I'm like, this is Resident Evil. And my first immediate reaction, because I tend to argue with myself, I'm sure a lot of you do the same thing. My first immediate reaction was, no, it's not. Don't be stupid. Come on, Arsh. Come on. No. It's not Resident Evil. And the rest of me was just analyzing it, watching how it was presented. And the more I saw, the more I'm like, no, I really think this is Resident Evil. And I got to that point where I was like, there's no way, but it would be so cool if it was. And you know how awesome that is, that when you get that payoff of, there's no way. Oh my God, it was totally that, So, awesome. I am actually enthused about Resident Evil 7. I hope, I hope it comes out on the PC. I know it's not going to. I know it's not going to. Who knows? Maybe the PS4 will be cheaper in the future or something. I'm going to go ahead and answer a question that I'm already predicting right now. Did I mute the music? I did. Whoops. I'm so sorry. I've actually had music going this whole time. Yeah, let's switch to something else here. Sorry, I actually had music playing. I'm a little amazed I haven't gotten a text from my friend who is a big fan of Resident Evil. Legit. I'm a little surprised. He might not have been expecting it. I mean, I wasn't expecting it. So he might not have been paying attention to when it came out. Anywho, so yeah, I am legitimately excited about Resident Evil 7. So yeah, to head off the question, I know I'm going to get this question. I guarantee you I'm going to get people asking me this on Tumblr. It's okay, I don't mind questions on Tumblr. In fact, I love it that you guys hit me on Tumblr all the time. But, does this push me over the line to buy a PS4? No. But I will admit at this point we are getting really close. If I was at that point I talked about in a video I put out recently, and again, I'm not begging for money, but if I was doing better off financially, if I was already at the point where I felt like my show was a financial success, yeah, I'd probably go ahead and, at this point, be convinced to buy a PS4. But that is a fairly large monetary investment for something that at this point is inching towards the line. I want to know more about that God of War game. I want to know a lot more about that God of War game. Some people think it's continuant of the original one. They did have Spartan Rage, after all, and he does look awfully the same. And I would prefer it if it was the original. At the same time, they are not calling it God of War 4, even though they could, so... And there's some other problems with that, so... Again, not sure about that, but I do want to know more about the God of War. And again, I think God of War needs new blood. And as much as I think the over-the-shoulder camera thing is overdone, I do have to admit, pulling that kind of gameplay, that sort of, actually Assassin's Creed-y is what I want to actually call it, gameplay into God of War is something that I feel is something that could function as new blood for the series. So, Last Guardian, I'll believe it when I see it. I admit, I'm also not a huge fan of Shadow of the Colossus and Ico. I've admitted this many times. I've been hated for this many, many times. Not super... Actually, Mario Galaxy 2, but good guess, Gamer Techno. So, I'm not as interested in The Last Guardian as I know a lot of other people are. Horizon looked fascinating. Even if I never play it, I want to know more about that world. God, there's so many games that they listed that actually looked cool. I should have been taking the list. I should just been writing it down. Okay, then there's this one, and then there's this one, and then there's this one. This is the one from Super Mario World. And this is the one from New Super Mario Brothers. And this is the one from Paper Mario 2. Yeah, I don't know, Carradine. It's definitely a we're not sure. No idea what's going on with Kratos. Star Wars VR. I hate you. Now, I know you guys want some legit comments, because that's usually what you come to my show for, right? So here's a legit comment rather than a reaction, okay? It looks like rather than diverting resources to an entire VR game, they're making what is effectively a side game which has a VR component. And that's about as good as it's going to get. So, cool, I'm with it. I will never play it. I've already explained what VR does to me, quite literally, physically does to me, so no. Thoughts on VR games. Go watch the beginning of the VOD. I'm not going to repeat myself for something like this. Hey, Dan of Dawn. Possible, Dan of Dawn. But again, I stand by my statement. Nothing has confirmed or denied whether it's a sequel or a reboot. For the record, I would be okay with either. I would just prefer it to be a sequel. I would like that idea. I do like that idea. Thoughts on Infinite Warfare? Sold. I'm serious. I actually am a fan of Call of Duty. I have been for a long time. It wasn't until Modern Warfare 3 that I finally started falling out of the series, and I really didn't care for Modern Warfare 3. And then I tried several of the Ghost ones, and I stopped paying attention. Infinite Warfare kind of looks like a return to form. And I've talked about the whole minute differences thing. I talked about that during the EA conference a bit. So maybe it's because of the fact that I'm technically skipping like 4 games that the changes feel significant between, say, Modern Warfare 3 and this one. Nevertheless, I am interested. And let me go ahead and see what you guys thought. 37 people think I should do an exploration on Infinite Warfare when it comes out. 5 people think I shouldn't. Guess I'm buying Infinite Warfare to do an exploration on it, guys. When's that come out? Hang on, let me add it to my list. I have a whole thing that I use to keep track of this stuff for explorations. So I'm just going to pull it up right now. There it is. Boom. November 4th. November 4th. I've never had issues before Samurai, but then again, I did kind of skip a few games. Also, I do not like playing FPSs with the controller. I never have. So. Hang on, Leslie. I want to send that to a friend of mine. Where is it? Ah. Ah. Also, you'll notice I didn't add anything to the hand counter. That's because he was doing exactly what I was talking about. People are complaining about Resident Evil 7. It doesn't have the camp. I feel like there was one other thing I wanted to talk about. Is there anything else anybody else wanted to get my thoughts on? In that, anybody? Before I cut this off? I feel like there's one other thing I wanted to talk about, and I can't remember what it is right now. I'm admittedly very tired. E3 has actually been wearing the hell out of me, and I've been literally, like, I'll cover E3, and then I'm watching E3 and researching E3 while doing work for the feature stuff, and then I'll do these things where I talk about E3. I feel bad. If I was actually there, I would be so tired. Spider-Man. Spider-Man. You guys all jumped down my throat. For good reason, I want to say. Several people have said there are some good Spider-Man games out there, and I am personally one person who disagrees. I think there have been, and I use this word very deliberately, acceptable Spider-Man games in the past. There have been Spider-Man games that I have enjoyed briefly, for a relatively small period of time, for some degree of enjoyment, and then I put them down and didn't really feel like going back. That is just me. The Spider-Man 2 movie game, which I believe was on the PS2, the Dimensions game, the one that had Deadpool in it, and you played as several different Spider-Men, and that great scene where you're fighting Electro, I want to say it was. I am now a god with no pants! You know, that scene. It was fun, but I still felt it was not a great Spider-Man game. I still felt they were simply lacking. I still felt they weren't, let me make my statement here clear, Spider-Man games. I felt that they were good beat-em-up games that had some decent dialogue and decent fun and decent combat, but they were not Spider-Man games. And I've been hoping for a great Spider-Man game for over 2 decades now. Have a Spider-Man game where the main mechanic is being Spider-Man. Is going whoosh and wah and yeah. Give me that. Don't give me the beat-em-up. We have beat-em-up. I've played beat-em-up before. Darn it. You know? So, this is my reasoning why I say this. And you can still have beat 'em up, just give me the rest of it. Anyways, I'd like a great Spider-Man game. Let me scroll up just a little bit here. Kojima. I had one brief thing to say about Kojima, and that is the fact that in my personal opinion, normally I would have been pissed off that they did this big thing about, oh, look, it's Kojima, let's lick his boots, and then he basically says, here's my new game, and walks off the stage. That would normally piss me off. It doesn't in this case, and you know why? Because he is owed that this one time. This is his one credit. He has turned in his credit for being honored. Here you go. Here's your credit. You've turned it in. Because Konami spit on him so badly, so repeatedly, so recently, that I personally feel that, at least this is the impression I got, that they were basically just saying, Kojima, we care about you, buddy. Big presentation. Do that once, and it's okay. I'm okay with it. I'm with it. You know? Get your breath of fresh air. Go back to living your life, dude. Like I said earlier, I feel Kojima is all the better for being loosed from that monstrosity that is Konami. Yes, I do panic. From what I understand, this is probably rumor. There were talks... I just realized I'm still listening to horror music, sorry. There were talks about them trying to do a refocus onto the Neo in the wake of the Scorpio thing, and there just wasn't enough time to actually do that, so they kind of just shoved the Neo stuff out of the presentation. I don't know how true that is. Basically, everything I've seen thus far, though, does indicate that that is exactly what happened. Especially the issues they were having with behind in the booth, as I mentioned several times. That is very indicative of we changed the schedule at the last minute. No bet, Carradine. No bet at all. They're gonna do it. Do I think I'll enjoy his non-Metal Gear work? I have no idea. I have said before that I think Kojima is a good developer who has some good ideas and some good creative works. I do not worship the ground he walks on. I do not think he is the best developer ever. I think he gets a little bit too much credit for the Metal Gear series, which I think is a shame because so many other talented people have contributed to that. So I do like him, but I don't think he's amazing, but I don't dislike him. So I'm basically kind of, you know, it is a net positive. So whether or not I like his game almost doesn't matter, though. I am not his target market, and I understand that. I'm trying to think. What else? Anyone else have any other big things here before I cut this off? Yeah, no kidding, War Wager. It'll be cool if you that doesn't happen. It'd be a bit of a shift of expectations, wouldn't it, War Wager? An untwist, if you will. Crash Bandicoot. I kind of already gave my thoughts on Crash Bandicoot. I am not a personal huge fan, but I do think it's a franchise that's been neglected. And any time I see a franchise that I consider to have been neglected, and I don't mean something that has been put to rest that should be. We don't have to constantly be bringing back old IPs. That's not what I'm saying. I am saying certain entire IPs, certain entire franchises have been basically dumped into the bin, into the waste bin. And I think Crash Bandicoot was one of them. And I think it's a good thing that it has been rescued from that bin, and I hope these remasters will revitalize interest in the series. The only Crash Bandicoot I ever played all the way to the end was actually the original one on the N64, and damn, that game was hard. Oh, gotcha, Gatewave. Yeah, I get you. And hang on, Zagotin is giving me a link. Yeah, I guess the bot is up right now, isn't it? Because I did the poll. I'm gonna link something that Konami or Kojima just tweeted. I'm not seeing any other questions, so I'm gonna go ahead and chop this off tomorrow at I think noon my time. I'm not even sure. I have a calendar. We're going to be going ahead and doing the Nintendo conference, if you could call it that. After some serious thought, I've decided I am not doing a specific Square coverage thing like I'm doing right now. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of keep my ear to the ground with regards to all the stuff Square is releasing over the next 3 days. 3 days, and I'm going to try and keep up to date on that. And I'm going to start my 4-job Fiesta run. Anyone remember that's a thing? Yeah, it actually already started like last Sunday. So I'm going to be starting my 4-job Fiesta. I already have my first job. I'm already ready to go. And I already got the save state ready to go and everything. And while I'm going through that, we can discuss whatever's going on with regards to Square. So, see you tomorrow for the Nintendo stuff.